What's going on, y'all? This is Eagle Eye Gordon here, back in my car again. And I want to talk about a little bit of something that it's kind of a love-hate relationship with when it comes to hair, and that is hair color. Yay, hair color. Hair color is something that I wish I would have known um, how it works and the science of it before I started doing it. And I want to say around 2015 ish, kind of 2014 started, but 2015 is when I started to get really heavy in it. And my hair is a naturally like a medium sandy brown. It was a lot darker when I was younger. Like when I was younger, like I looked straight up Arab slash Puerto Rican. Like I was a lot lighter than I am right now. My hair was so much thicker. It was very silky. It's interesting how your hair can change as you get older. And boy do I miss how nice and easily healthy that it was, and I didn't have to do much to it, and my youth. Anyway, yeah, my hair is back then it was a lot thicker, and it was a lot darker. But as I got older, as I started to get into like my mid 20s, is when like I started to notice that my hair would change naturally between like a medium, actually like a dark brown to like a medium brown, and it would change usually like when it would get really warm out or when it get really sunny out and stuff like that. Um, when I started to grow out my hair, I kept it pretty dark in its natural state for uh, a good amount of years until, like I said, around 2014 ish, 2015. In the beginning, I started to kind of go the natural route when it came to uh, changing my hair color. Like, I wanted to initially try to do like maybe some red, some lighter brown, and I will look up like natural recipes online, like using tea, coffee, lemon juice, baking soda, and stuff like that. And I was having fun with it for a minute, and some of that stuff was actually working. And then I started to say, how about I try to go a little bit lighter, maybe get some highlights and stuff here and there. So the natural remedies would kind of do only so much until I started to. Well, after that point, I say, you know what, I'm just going to go back to being dark. After using the natural remedies for a minute, which I would say the lightest that it got naturally with the natural hair remedies, I would say is like a burgundy red, and it was nice actually. I remember when it first got that light, I was like, well, I can't believe it. And I was using like a lot of caramel tea. I was using caramel tea mixed with lemon, and that would actually do some stuff to your hair, depending on how dark your hair is. It will actually lighten it up like within a week. You will start to see results. Um, but after a minute, I was like, you know what? I kind of want to go back dark. So then I bought some jet black hair dye from L'Oreal and brought it back. They actually did make it black. It was actually the darkest I ever was, but it didn't last too long because, and I wasn't actually doing anything to it. It was just getting lighter naturally, like by itself. So that was kind of weird. But anyway, in 2015 came along, and I was like, you know what? I kind of want to try some stuff again. So then I tried to see, maybe I could try to do some like sandy brown, like borderline blonde highlights in my hair. Like I never wanted to be full blonde ever. Like that's something I never wanted to do because I always knew the dangers of trying to go blonde uh, with bleach and stuff like that. It's not it's not always safe if you don't do it properly. You have to be very careful, especially if you're doing it by yourself. I said maybe some blonde highlights may not be too damaging. So then I tried a couple of boxes of hair dyes. It was like a dark blonde. Like I didn't want to start off with like the light blonde colors, but like a dark blonde to see what I could do. And the most that it got was like a very medium brown, like something that I pretty much could have got with just natural remedies like I was using before. So I was like, this was a waste. That was when I first started to see that box dyes are hit or miss, like they say. So then I kind of did away with that for a minute and just kind of went back to the natural hair route. And I kind of got back to like the medium brown. I didn't go red again, but I got like some medium brown, some parts light brown using just the tea and the lemon and all that stuff. Then 2016 came along, and then that's when I started getting into henna. So I said, oh, let me try henna. I've been hearing about it for a minute, but I never really tried it before. So then that's why I went to my beauty supply store and found some henna. I think the first brand of henna that I tried that I used was actually the first brand of henna that I used was from a natural herb store. Forgot the name of it, but it was very expensive. It came in a tall box, and I think I got. They had colors that started all the way from natural to blonde to black. But one thing that I quickly learned with henna is that you can't get blonde with natural henna. You can't get blonde. You can't get black either. The most you can get is like, again, I've said this before, it's like a variant between uh, a medium red to a dark brown. Uh, if your hair is like already dark and you try to use some henna that's called like black henna, then you might get very close to it. If you have blonde hair and you use the lightest of henna, you'll probably get, if you already have platinum blonde hair, then it's not really, it's just going to brighten it up a bit. If you have like a medium blonde or whatever, it may tint it up a bit. But if you have like red hair or darker, you're not really going to get blonde. So it's between the brown and the red pretty much. And I bought, I believe, the lightest one to kind of see if it would actually get light, and it didn't. But it actually did turn it a bit red, which I thought was kind of cool. That was when I started to notice, I kind of like the red tint on my hair. Like red has been always been my favorite hair color to go lighter with is red. Like not a fire engine red, but like a medium red, like a burgundy red. I like a sagey kind of red, like kind of like a dark ginger kind of look, but it looks natural. I got close to that later on in the year when I went back to the box dye. I used this box dye called Textures and Tones by Clairol, and the first time I used it, I liked the result, but I should have started off with my ends first, like they say, and then go all the way up to the roots. Don't start with your roots first, because if you do that and your hair is kind of virgin-ish, where like you don't use hair color often at least, you can wind up with hot roots, which is when like you can get blonde roots and then have dark hair all over everywhere else. So I had some hot roots. It didn't get too bad. I was able to cover it up easily, but that's when I started to learn more about how to use box dye or whatever when you try to lighten your hair. Let's see. That was around like Thanksgiving ish, 2016. I went here to box dye. I bought the Textures and Tones. Uh, it was one of the lighter reds I bought, and that was probably the best that my hair color had got, and I really liked it. The hot roots went away. I actually darkened up the hot roots with coffee. So coffee will give you a nice brown tint to your hair, which is kind of what I have right now. Probably kind of see it right here in the light. Even without the light, you can tell the brown. This is my go-to hair color right now. Is like a medium brown. That's what my hair is comfortable with right now, and I'm comfortable with it too. But the best of my hair color was when I started off with that box dye, the Textures and Tones, and after I got my roots fixed, the color was really nice. I liked it a lot. And then I touched it up again. I want to say about a month and a half later with the same box color variant. But then after that, that's when I started to mess up. Like I messed up a good thing like You don't want to mess up a good thing going. I wish I didn't do it. I should have stayed with the same box every single time I touch it up, but I started to get a little bit sporadic. Like, you know what? Let me try this. This other one that was kind of like a tad bit darker, but like a cool looking kind of red, like a cool kind of burgundy-ish again, but a little bit lighter, but darker than what I was working with the first couple of times with textures and tones. I did that, and my hair got darker, but it didn't get to the color that I want. I was like, damn. So then after that, I said, you know what? Let me try the blonde highlights again. Like, I want to be a little bit, just a little bit froggy. Let me try this blonde highlights thing again. So I bought. Excuse me. I haven't eaten that much today, and usually when I don't eat full course meals at the beginning of the day is when I'm just talking like really fast and you know jumble my words a little bit. But anyway, um, where was I at? Oh yeah, I tried the blonde highlights thing again, and I forgot the hair shade that I bought, but it was probably the second to the lightest one. Textures and tones. Tried that. My hair got so stringy, it looked damn near dead. I freaked out so bad. My hair got so thin. And it's a miracle that I was able to revive it to the extent that I was able to revive it to. I had to cut some off, but for the most part, I was able to revive it. But it got so stringy and so tragic looking. It didn't come out the color that I wanted. It came out a bit splotchy. It messed up the red shade that I had going on. I was so devastated. I was terrified. And I almost thought that my hair journey was over at that point. I almost thought it was over. Like, you know what? I think I fucked it up for real. Like, I had a couple of bad hair stints prior to that. One really bad one that I would say was just a tad bit worse. It was from a Blue Magic product that I used, but that was the second worst. Like, I thought that my hair journey was about to be done. But then I started to go online and I researched the hell out of Google and looked up every single natural hair restoration thing I could do without using any chemical. And I used a bunch of shit like avocado. I did a lot of mayonnaise treatments, protein treatments. I used some more henna, but I used some dark henna. After about maybe almost 2 months, it kind of came back, and I was so happy. I was so happy. That after after that, ever since that moment, my hair has never been able to sustain its elasticity past a level, I want to say level 6. If you know about the hair number color chart system, 1 is like the darkest of the dark, which is like black, and 10 is like a platinum blonde. So the highest that I ever gotten in my hair coloring journey was probably a level 7. Level 6 is like the burgundy red. If it tries to go past level 6, it's going to struggle really bad. My elasticity when I have it. That also contributed to the thinning of some of my hair. Um, it doesn't stretch as well as it used to. Part of that is because of that. Um, let's see. Yeah. So I went back to like a brown, like kind of like a medium brown after that, and I used some more henna. And by the end of the year, I was like, yes, it's back. It's back. 2018, I decided to get a little bit more sporadic, but knowing that red, like a medium red, was going to be like the best I could get. I already knew that after everything that I went through. But at that point, I was just using henna. So I just used henna. So I got into this brand called OK Henna, which I've showed you before. And I used like the orange color, the orange and the light brown colors. And then that's when it gave me some more red tints. And then my hair at that point was looking how it was kind of like when I first started to use the textures and tones, but at that point it was looking more like a balayage, whatever they call it, which is kind of like when it starts off dark and then it gets lighter. Balayage or ombre. It's one of those two, ombre or balayage. Probably ombre. So it was like an ombre of what I had with the textures and tones with dark roots, and it looked amazing. Like that, my hair color was looking bomb at that point. Like it was looking so good. And I kept that hair color probably until the end of that year, and then I started to go dark again. I was like, you know what? I kind of miss. I want to bring my hair elasticity back to the best that it was prior to when I started coloring my hair. So I was like, you know what? The only way it's going to be that way again is if I get it dark. So I went back dark again, not black, but like a dark brown. I just bought some more henna, used the dark brown henna, and that was that. I've been fluctuating ever since then until now between a dark red and a medium brown, and I've just been using henna ever since. Like, um, henna's been a lifesaver for color wise and hair health wise, which is why I speak about henna so much. I like henna. Um, of course, the best henna to get is like when you get it from the Indians. Their henna, in my opinion, is more pure than the OK henna that I was using, which I believe is from Brazil. Um, the Indian henna, they give you a lot more, and it's a lot more richer. The dirt is a lot more hardy. Um, OK henna is okay, just like it's interesting. It's called OK henna, and it's okay. Sometimes it's really good, sometimes it's just okay. But either way, it will give you a nice health boost to your hair. That's the benefit of henna, is that it's coloring to a certain extent, but it's also very healthy for your hair. And you can use it. You can even use henna like almost every week if you wanted to. Um, just don't like fluctuate it. Like use the light henna, then the dark brown henna, then the red henna. You know, just if you want to use the same henna weekly, you can actually do that because it's all natural. It's not really going to hurt your hair. Um, there's been times in which I used it probably 3 weeks back to back, and it was fine. I don't do that now. I usually use it like uh, maybe once every month and a half to 2 months now. Um, I just get it from my local Indian shop. It's really cheap. You can get. I usually get 2 uses out of it. I could get three if I wanted to. I could get three, but I usually just do two. But they give you a nice amount. It's only like $3.30 where I'm at. Can't beat that at all. But so far, the color that my hair is the most comfortable with now is like a medium brown, and I'm fine with that too. I like medium brown. Red will always be my favorite that I've tried, but I like medium brown now. Medium brown, it suits my skin tone, it suits my hair texture. It's a good look for my hair. I like medium brown now. So I've thought about times maybe going black, and I've actually tried black a couple of times, but I don't know. Black is okay. It makes your hair look the healthiest, but I just get really bored with black easily. Uh, but I never want to go. I never want to try that blonde shit again. That blonde highlight shit again, though. And like a lighter red, I wouldn't try that again either. Like the medium to the burgundy red was the best, but brown is what my hair is pretty much going to stick to from now on. Uh, which is what I have right now. You can probably see again in the sun peeking out, like a medium brown. And usually between the henna washes, I maintain it with some lemon juice, light tea, or coffee. Those keep the richness of the brown in my hair. So again, I mentioned this before. If you want to naturally lighten your hair up a bit, and you got really dark hair, try some coffee. You can try some caramel tea or lemon tea. Um, mix some honey with it too. Honey is actually a hair lightener too. Just don't use too much because it can make your hair feel really sticky and gooky, and it's hard to rinse it out. I will say hard work trying to get honey out of your hair. It is. It'll be fine for a little bit, but after maybe a couple of, maybe about after 4 times of putting honey in your hair, it's going to be a bit of a pain trying to get it out because it stays on your hair shaft. It stays on there. So just use that sparingly. But it will lighten your hair, though. It will lighten it. Like honey and lemon together, mixed with some tea, that'll give you some nice highlights real quick. So, yeah, that's my little story about hair color as far as how my hair has experienced it. Um, it's just something that you got to be careful with, just like with people who like to relax their hairs. If you don't use the henna or do any natural treatments to it, if you're using hair color at home, you got to be careful because one wrong move and it could be the end of your hair journey. I got lucky. So that time that I told you about with that blonde highlight shit, I got really lucky. But I know it's a lot of people out there that they try one thing, they do all of the directions correctly and all of that stuff, but some don't work right, and then they got to do a big old chop. So if you're using hair color at home, make sure you do your research, watch some YouTube videos, be careful, because it's dangerous. But it's fun at the same time. You know, I just wish that I knew what I know now. Then so many things I could have avoided. Oh man. But yep, that's all I got for you right now.